Our story begins with a military dog named Max guiding a group of American soldiers through a hostile stretch of Afghanistan. As the soldiers entered a nearby village, the local residents immediately began shouting angry slogans against them. Sensing something was wrong, Max sniffed around and led his handler, Kyle, straight into a small house. There, he spent a long moment focused on a carpet, and when they pulled it back, they uncovered a hidden compartment packed with illegal guns and weapons. It became clear that the people of this region were secretly selling arms to terrorists. Once his duty for the day was done, Kyle returned to base and video called his parents. His father, Ray, was a retired army officer, and both his parents adored Max just as much as they loved their son. Kyle's younger brother, Justin, on the other hand, never really cared much for dogs. A few days later, Kyle was summoned by his senior officers. It turned out that a large number of the weapons his unit had seized never actually made it back to headquarters. The officers suspected someone within Kyle's own team was stealing the confiscated arms. When Kyle began questioning his squad, the trail led straight to his closest friend, Tyler. But Kyle valued their friendship too much to turn him in right away. So he decided to give Tyler one last chance to come clean. The next day, Kyle's unit headed out for another mission, with Max leading the way across an open field before suddenly stopping in his tracks. Kyle took the opportunity to confront Tyler directly, telling him he knew everything about his illegal weapons trade. Instead of apologizing, Tyler snapped back, telling Kyle to keep quiet and focus on the mission. Meanwhile, Max continued moving forward into territory that the enemy had rigged with landmines. Explosions suddenly tore through the area, throwing the whole unit into chaos. When Kyle spotted a fellow soldier in danger, he rushed forward to save him, calling out to Tyler for cover fire. But Tyler betrayed him, ducking behind a rock instead of providing support. Fighting bravely against the enemy, Kyle was tragically killed in the firefight. Soon after, army officers arrived at the family's home to deliver the devastating news of Kyle's death. His parents and brother Justin were shattered by the loss. The entire family gathered at the church to say their final goodbye. Max was brought along as well, heartbroken over the loss of his handler. He sat quietly beside Kyle's casket throughout the service. When the funeral ended and the officers tried to take Max back with them, he refused to budge, thrashing against them. Instead, he recognized Justin and moved toward him, seeing a resemblance to his late master. But Justin turned away, letting the officers load Max into their van. The next day, Justin sat in Kyle's room, quietly looking through old photographs. His father came in to comfort him, but Justin, consumed by grief and anger, lashed out and blamed his father for Kyle's death. Just then, Sam walked in and delivered troubling news. The military had decided Max needed to be put down. Without wasting another moment, the family rushed to the dog center to see Max. There, they learned that ever since Kyle's death, Max had become dangerously aggressive, attacking anyone who came near him, consumed by grief of his own. But the moment Justin stepped into the room, Max grew calm and sat down peacefully. He obeyed Justin's commands, perhaps because Justin bore such a strong resemblance to his brother. Seeing Max at ease around his son, Ray decided to adopt him. Back home, though, Ray explained that because Max was considered dangerous, he couldn't be kept inside the house. So they tied him up outside in the garden instead. That night, Max barked and howled endlessly, disturbing the whole family and the neighbors as well. Reluctantly, Justin went outside to check on him, and as soon as Max saw him, he stopped barking immediately. He wouldn't let Justin leave his side, so Justin ended up lying down right next to him, the same way Kyle used to. Max stood guard over him all night while he slept. The next morning, Justin met up with his friends Dewey and her uncle, Colonel Carbon. Dewey had always loved dogs, and Justin admitted that handling Max was becoming too difficult for him. The colonel suggested that Dewey, who had dog training experience, could help him out. The following day, Carbon and Dewey came over and trained Justin on how to approach and control Max. After just a few hours of practice, Justin was already comfortable enough to walk Max on his own. That evening, as the family sat down for dinner, Max suddenly began barking furiously outside. Moments later, the doorbell rang and Justin opened it to find Tyler standing there. His parents were overjoyed to see him. Tyler explained that he'd been injured during a mission and had come home to recover. Later, when they brought Tyler over to meet Max, the dog erupted into a furious barking fit, completely losing control. He snapped his chain and lunged straight at Tyler. It took both Justin and Carbon working together to restrain Max and keep Tyler safe. The truth was that Max hadn't forgotten who was responsible for Kyle's death, and a deep hatred for Tyler was burning inside him. The next day, when Justin took Max out for a walk and came back, he found a cage waiting at the house. His mother explained that it was meant for Max to make sure he couldn't attack anyone else. Around the same time, Tyler asked Ray for permission to use his warehouse for some personal work, and since Ray thought of him almost like a son, he happily agreed. Later, when Ray asked Tyler about the circumstances of Kyle's death, Tyler broke down in fake tears and spun a story claiming that Max had wandered into a danger zone against Kyle's orders, and that Kyle had died trying to rescue him. Hearing this, Ray was consumed with rage and rushed toward Max, pulling out his gun and preparing to shoot. Just as he was about to pull the trigger, Justin arrived in time to stop him. The next day, Justin went to the military dog center where he met one of Kyle's close friends. This soldier told him that Max had been the finest military dog he'd ever worked with, and that there was no way Max could have ever caused harm to Kyle. He also revealed that Tyler hadn't actually been injured at all. He'd been suspended from duty. Along with Dewey and Carbon, Justin sat down to review old training footage of Max, and it became completely clear to him just how loyal Max had truly been to Kyle. He now understood for certain that Max could never have been responsible for his brother's death. While Dewey was busy with a second round of training, Justin received a call from Tyler, and something about it felt off, raising his suspicions. So the moment Ray left the house, Justin took Max and secretly followed him. They eventually arrived at a spot deep in the woods where Ray had gone to meet Tyler. But they weren't alone for long. A group of men showed up too, revealing themselves as buyers looking to purchase weapons from Tyler. That's when Justin finally understood the full picture. Tyler had been smuggling illegal weapons out of Afghanistan and selling them in America. At that same moment, the buyer's dogs picked up on Max's barking and charged after him. Max found himself facing off against two vicious dogs alone, but he managed to fight them off and escape back to Justin's side. The two of them made a run for it and eventually reached the highway, where a kind woman gave them a ride home. Once they got inside the house, Justin was stunned to find Tyler and his partner, David, waiting there. They had spotted Justin's bicycle in the woods and realized he'd discovered their operation. To cover his tracks, Tyler faked an injury on his arm and pinned the blame on Max, telling Justin's parents that Max needed to be sent far away as soon as possible. When Justin refused to go along with it, Tyler pulled him aside privately and threatened to kill his entire family if he didn't cooperate. To protect the people he loved, Justin reluctantly agreed to give Max up. Shortly after, staff from the dog center arrived and took Max away. Later, Ray confronted Tyler at work, asking why he'd used the storage unit without permission. In truth, Tyler had been using that unit to stash his illegal weapons, but he lied, claiming a friend had been using the space instead. Meanwhile, back at the dog center, Max grew completely unmanageable, attacking a security guard and breaking free before disappearing into the night. That evening, Ray tried talking to Justin, but his son stayed silent, clearly hiding something out of fear. Later, Ray made his way to the storage unit himself, where he caught Tyler and David red-handed loading guns into a truck. Before he could react, they overpowered him and held him at gunpoint. Not long after, Ray sent a message claiming he'd be staying the night at his hunting cabin. But the family knew he didn't even own one. Worried, Justin set out with Carbone and Jui to search for his father. They eventually found the storage unit with its lock broken open. Max caught the scent from the broken lock and began leading them toward the woods. After searching through the night, Justin and his group finally reached a remote clearing, where they spotted Tyler and his associates in the middle of a weapons deal, with Ray held captive in their vehicle. While Justin and Carbon kept watch on the scene, Jui rushed off to call the police. But Tyler's dogs caught Justin's scent and charged at him. Once again, Max stepped in and fought off both attacking dogs. Meanwhile, Tyler and David chased Justin through the woods. Seizing the opportunity, Ray managed to overpower David and free himself. Soon after, Max and Justin also made it to the scene, and father and son were overjoyed to be reunited, though the danger was far from over. They quickly came up with a plan to split up and outmaneuver Tyler by taking different paths. Meanwhile, David got into his car, determined to hunt down the father and son. When he spotted them, he tried to run them over, but Ray fired at the vehicle, sending it crashing off a bridge in a massive explosion. At the same time, Tyler managed to corner Justin, intent on killing him since Justin had ruined the perfect life he'd built for himself. But just then, Max launched a fierce attack on Tyler, knocking him off the bridge and into the river below. Right on time, Jui arrived with the police, and the criminals were finally taken into custody. In the end, Justin and Max stood together at Kyle's grave. Justin thanked his brother and offered him a heartfelt salute for the very first time. When they returned home, friends and family welcomed them back with open arms, and this time Max stayed right by their side the whole way. Ray announced that from now on, Max would live inside the house as a true member of the family. With that, their family finally felt whole again.